Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are diving deep into go-to-market strategy for your software product.
Sounds good.
We're going to be using Chapter 6 of this software product management book as our trusty guide.
Awesome.
And trust me, this is not just some theoretical stuff. This is like having a playbook for success.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, you can have the most incredible software in the world,
Right.
but if you don't have a solid go-to-market strategy, it's like...
It's like that movie, that amazing movie that nobody ever sees because the marketing was terrible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all about making sure that your software doesn't just launch, it soars.
So we're talking about taking that amazing software you've built and making sure the world actually knows about it and wants to use it?
Yeah, and more importantly, that it actually delivers value to your users.
Okay, so value is key, but how do we define that value in a way that really connects with our target audience?
That's where understanding the why behind customer motivation is so important.
Oh, why?
Yeah, like what makes them tick? What are their pain points? What are their aspirations?
Okay.
The book actually uses a great example from Netflix.
Oh, interesting. Netflix. What do they have to do with software?
Well, it's about the principle.
Okay.
They talk about how Netflix prioritizes completeness over freshness.
Completeness over freshness. What does that even mean?
So think about it. Their subscribers, they love having an entire season of a show ready to binge.
Right.
More than they care about getting the absolute newest episode right away.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
It's about that instant gratification, that feeling of having everything you want right at your fingertips.
So it's about understanding the bigger picture of what the customer truly values. In this case, it's the convenience and satisfaction of having a complete series, not just the novelty of the latest release.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that translates directly to your software.
Okay, I'm starting to see the connection here.
Think about your ideal customer. What are their biggest pain points? What are they struggling with?
Are they drowning in spreadsheets and emails and just need some way to streamline their workflow?
Exactly.
Right.
Or maybe they're frustrated with a clunky, outdated system and craving a more intuitive, user-friendly solution.
Okay, so we need to really get inside our customers' heads and figure out what they're really looking for.
Yeah, and once you have a handle on that, you can start building out your go-to-market plan, which the book emphasizes should be treated with the same level of seriousness as any other major project.
So this isn't just some afterthought. We need to give this the same level of planning and execution as we did with the product development itself.
Absolutely. And Figure 6.3 actually lays out a really helpful visual representation of all the key components of a go-to-market plan.
Okay, so we're not just talking about sending out a few tweets and hoping for the best. This is starting to feel more like time to assemble the go-to-market squad.
That's a great way to put it. It's about having a structured plan with clear objectives, timelines, budgets, the whole 9 yards.
So how do we go from this big picture idea of go-to-market to actually putting a plan into action?
Well, first, you need to define your target audience.
Right. Who are we actually trying to reach with this product?
Exactly. And once you know who you're talking to, you can start crafting a message that resonates with them.
So we need to speak their language, understand their pain points, and show them how our software is the solution they've been waiting for.
You got it.
Okay, so we've got our target audience in mind. We know what makes them tick. Now, how do we actually reach them?
That's where those marketing and sales assets come into play.
Right, like our secret weapons for grabbing their attention.
Exactly. Think of it this way. Marketing assets are your wide net.
Okay.
You're casting it out there to a broad audience early on in their decision-making journey.
So what would be an example of a good marketing asset, like in the context of software?
A well-written blog post, for example.
Okay.
Something that really speaks to a pain point that your target audience is facing. That's a great example of a marketing asset.
Okay, so that gets them in the door. So what happens once they're interested?
Then you bring in the sales assets. These are more targeted. They come into play later in the game.
So once a potential customer already knows a bit about our product.
Exactly. When you really want to seal the deal, that's when you hit them with things like case studies.
Oh, right. Showing how our software has helped other companies achieve some amazing results.
Precisely. And testimonials, white papers, product demos, all of those goodies.
So it's kind of like a 1-2 punch. You've got the marketing assets grabbing their attention and then the sales assets reeling them in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the book really emphasizes the importance of consistency across all of these assets.
Consistent.
Yeah, your messaging, your visuals, your overall tone and style.
Gotcha.
It should all work together to create this cohesive brand experience.
That makes sense, because a unified brand experience helps build trust and recognition, especially in a crowded market.
Exactly.
And speaking of a crowded market, not all customers are created equal, right?
That's very true.
How do we tailor our message when we're talking to all these different types of people?
You're right. It's not one size fits all.
Yeah.
And that's where customer personas come in handy.
Right, those semi-fictional representations of our ideal customer.
Exactly. They help us to really understand the motivations, the pain points, and the goals of our different customer segments.
So, for example, let's say we have a B2B software product.
Okay.
A CEO's concerns are going to be very different from the concerns of, say, an IT manager or an entry-level employee.
Absolutely. The CEO is probably thinking about the ROI, the big picture impact on their bottom line.
Right.
Whereas someone who's actually using the software every day, they might care more about how user-friendly it is, how well it integrates with their existing workflow.
So we need to create marketing and sales materials that speak to those specific needs and concerns.
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head.
So it's all about knowing your audience and crafting your message accordingly.
Precisely. And speaking of knowing your audience, we can't forget about the competition.
Oh, right. How do we make sure our software stands out in a crowded market?
Well, one of the best ways to do that is through something called competitive analysis.
Competitive analysis. So basically spying on our rivals.
Well, not exactly. It's more about understanding their strengths and weaknesses.
Okay.
And using that knowledge to refine our own value proposition and messaging.
So it's not enough to just know our own product inside and out. We also need to keep tabs on what our competitors are doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the book really emphasizes that this isn't a one-time task. It's about staying informed about the competitive landscape on an ongoing basis.
So how do we actually go about doing that?
Well, there are a lot of different approaches. You can check out competitor websites, see what they're up to on social media, maybe even attend some industry events.
So it's kind of like being a detective in a way.
In a way, yes. And don't underestimate the value of talking to your own sales team.
Right. They're the ones on the front lines hearing firsthand what prospects are saying about the competition.
Exactly. They can give you some invaluable insights.
Okay, so we're gathering all this intel on our competitors. Now what do we do with it?
That's where those competitive battle cards come in.
Battle cards.
Yeah, they sound kind of intense, right?
A little bit.
But they're actually super helpful. Basically, a battle card is a concise document that summarizes a competitor's strengths, weaknesses, key features, and most importantly, how your software stacks up against theirs.
So it's like a cheat sheet for our sales team.
Exactly. It gives them the information they need to address competitor comparisons head-on and really articulate your product's unique value proposition.
I love it. So we've got our marketing assets, our sales assets, and our battle cards to help us stand out from the crowd.
It's all coming together.
But it's not just about having these tools and resources, right? We need to make sure our entire team knows how to use them effectively.
Absolutely. And that's where a strong enablement strategy comes into play.
Enablement. Okay, so we're not just handing our team the tools and hoping for the best.
Right. It's about providing the right training and support to empower every single person involved in your go-to-market strategy.
So what does that look like in practice?
Well, it's about clear, consistent communication, first and foremost.
No.
Keeping everyone in the loop about product updates, market trends, competitor moves, that sort of thing.
Gotcha. So everyone's on the same page.
Exactly. And then, of course, there's training.
Right, because we can have the best tools in the world, but if our team doesn't know how to use them effectively, it's all for nothing.
Exactly. And the book emphasizes that training shouldn't be a one-time event.
Okay, so it's an ongoing process.
Absolutely. Especially with things like sales team turnover.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that everyone has the knowledge and skills they need to be successful.
So what are some concrete examples of effective training tactics?
Well, a well-structured sales kit is essential.
Good.
Packed with compelling presentations, case studies that really resonate, maybe even some pre-written email templates.
So we're not just telling our team to go out there and sell. We're giving them a roadmap for success.
Exactly. And the training should really focus on the customer's perspective.
Yeah.
How does this product solve their specific pain points? How does it make their lives easier? How does it help them achieve their goals?
Right, because at the end of the day, it's all about providing value to the customer.
Absolutely. When your team truly understands that they're not just selling a product, they're providing a solution.
And building relationships and becoming trusted advisors.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. When it comes to enablement, what are some of the biggest mistakes that companies make?
One of the most common mistakes is treating enablement as a one-time event.
Right, like a check-the-box exercise.
Exactly. But enablement is an ongoing process. It's about continuously investing in your team's growth and development.
So it's not just about giving them the tools, but also empowering them to use those tools effectively.
Precisely. And another mistake is failing to tailor the enablement program to the specific needs of the team.
Okay, so a one-size-fits-all approach won't cut it.
Exactly. You need to consider the different roles, responsibilities, and skill levels within your team and tailor the training accordingly.
That makes sense, because a sales rep is going to need different training than a marketing manager, for example.
Exactly. And don't forget about ongoing support.
Right, enablement doesn't stop after the initial training.
Exactly. It's about providing your team with the resources and guidance they need to be successful on an ongoing basis.
So regular check-ins, coaching sessions, opportunities for feedback and development.
All of that is crucial for creating a culture of continuous learning and improvement.
Okay, so enablement is not just a nice-to-have. It's essential for go-to-market success.
Absolutely. It's the key to empowering your team to champion your product and drive real results.
Fantastic. So we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive on go-to-market strategy, from understanding our target audience to crafting compelling messaging and equipping our team for success.
It's been a whirlwind.
It has, but a really insightful one. So before we wrap things up, any final words of wisdom for our listeners?
I think the biggest takeaway is that a successful go-to-market strategy is all about alignment.
Alignment.
Yeah, making sure that everyone from product development to marketing to sales is on the same page and working towards the same goal.
Right, because a disjointed go-to-market approach is a recipe for disaster.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When everyone is aligned and working together seamlessly, that's when the magic happens.
Love it. Well said. So as we wrap up this deep dive on go-to-market strategy, I want to thank you again for joining us and sharing your expertise.
It's been my pleasure.
And to all of you listening out there, remember, building an amazing product is just the first step.
Right.
Getting it into the hands of the right customers, that's where the real journey begins.
Couldn't agree more.
So go forth and conquer the market, my friends. And until next time, happy strategizing.
Take care.